Hi, everybody. Welcome to 112. First of all, I apologize. Well, actually, it's probably a good thing for you. I usually try to have a little video of myself going in the corner here, but I'm on my old PC, which doesn't have a video camera. My wife and son are in Toronto visiting my in-laws, and they've got my gnarly little notebook with them. So I am dealing with slightly older technology. But at any rate, you're not missing much. So what I want to do is give you a quick overview of the course site. Welcome to 112. I'm excited about this class. I'm coming back from a break of a couple of years. I was division chair for a while, and I've just kind of dived back into the classroom this spring and summer. And I'm really excited about rolling into my first fall semester. The spring summer semesters are always so short, so intensive that you always feel like you're scrambling. I'm looking forward to having these kind of full 15 weeks to explore writing with you and the various subjects that we're going to explore as we talk about writing, the things we'll talk about. And I look forward to learning a lot about you. You'll learn probably more than you want to know about me along the way as well. One thing that is different, this 112 class is completely new. I've changed textbooks. I've actually turned to a textbook I used over the spring summer with my 111 class. I like it a lot better than what I was using before, and I'm really excited about the assignments. I pulled out different assignments for those of you who were in 111 with me over the spring or summer. But I'm really excited about it. I like this book quite a bit. I like its setup. I like its premise. So before I give you a quick tour of the course, something to mention while I'm talking about the book. Please be sure of two things. First of all, you do need to have access to my comp lab, which you'll get a code for in the book that you bought in the bookstore. If you bought a used book, you're not going to have that code. If you're a past student, I do believe you can buy the code directly from Pearson, and I can look into that for you. But you will need to have access to my comp lab. It is different from the lab we used over the spring summer. The 111 lab focused more on grammar mechanics. This one is actually linked directly to our textbook. One cool thing about it is you'll actually get an electronic version of the textbook you'll have access to. So if you want to do some of your reading on a mobile device. So that's the first thing. Second thing, you absolutely need to do the reading in this class. I will occasionally, and for most units probably something will be posted, I'll occasionally give you sort of mini lectures, which will go over the main ideas in a chapter, the main goals of an assignment. But I am not going to record myself summarizing everything in your textbook. But I will expect that material to be covered. So when I'm reading something you've written, right, as I'm assessing it, if I said, read this chapter on how to write it, and I pointed you towards a few of the things in that chapter, I'm going to expect to see the stuff in that chapter in your essay. Okay? If you ever have questions about anything in the text, I will show you where to go. Here in the discussions area of the course, there will be, and I see I don't have them here yet, so I will add these, and I'm actually going to link them in here, so ignore that for now. You will have two discussion forums. One will be sort of a mechanics help forum, help on the course itself. If you have questions about grades, where to find things, a mistake you think you've seen in an assignment that you'd like me to look at, that sort of stuff. Now, if you have questions about your specific grade, email me. But if you have general questions about how something was graded or when grades are coming back, post that. I'll give you another discussion forum that you'll be able to use to ask about the course content. So if there's something in the book that isn't clear, post away. Okay, so I will link those in there as soon as I finish this video. I'll go and add those in. I slipped my mind, and that will happen sometimes. So you may also sometimes need to post to the help forum saying, Ray, I think you forgot something that you promised us you would do. So I'll get that added in. In this course, you will first of all occasionally have these sorts of video intros, and you'll see this says 111 because I'm just using this to show you where the video is going to be. It's an old video. Beneath them, you will always have a printed announcement as well. Always view the video all the way through, and always read the printed announcement. I try to make them as redundant as possible, but I may say something in the video I don't mention in the announcement. I may mention something in the announcement I don't say in the video. Also, the things that I go through in the video, sometimes seeing it reinforces what you read. So that's very important. The other main thing I want to say today is this is your home for the next few weeks. And I apologize, there's a phone call coming in. And I will, there we go, I don't know. My apologies. And I'm going to let you, actually, that's a very authentic moment in my life because the phone's always ringing in this house. So I'll leave that there just so you have an idea of who I am and what my life is like. So here we are. We're in the course here. This is where you're going to live, the content area of the course. If you need to go somewhere else in the course, I will tell you in the announcement or in the checklist. But everything is here. And the reason I'm pointing you there is I may sometimes have things. For example, if you come to Toolbox and click on Checklist, you can see the checklist. These are your weekly checklists, your unit by unit checklists. I may have one I'm working on that is not yet done. And I don't want you coming over here and clicking ahead and then beginning to work ahead when there's misinformation, wrong information in that checklist still. Okay, or under course tasks, you can come to the discussions boards. But again, you may come across something here which is a work in progress. Less likely because I can actually make these invisible. For some reason, the checklists in our learning management system don't become invisible. They should. Anyhow, so click on content. This is where everything's going to be. The nice thing about the content area of the course is it arranges everything in an outline. Okay, so the first thing you'll do this week is get into course resources, read the syllabus carefully, read the student resources and responsibilities. This is where you'll find information on plagiarism, for example, disruptive student policies. Also, we'll find information on getting help if you have a diagnosed, documented disability and you need support for this class. Delta offers you support, but you need to know where to go to get that set up. I personally can't offer the support without working with the office that does that. So take a look at that. The rubric for discussion boards, read this very carefully immediately because you have an introduction discussion right away this week. And this outlines for you how I'm going to assess the discussion boards and how to earn full points for those. And then the grading criteria for essays we'll look at, or you can look at a bit later on once we've got an essay coming together. Okay, here are a number of resources on our MyComp lab, including these instructions for registering, and these instructions do include the right course ID, and then a number of other resources. Now, these resources were developed by an intern at Pearson using a My Writing Lab shell. So you may see that the lab he's showing may be slightly different from ours, but the overall structure is going to be essentially the same. Get your lab set up by Sunday. I want you to be ready to get in here and access resources as I point you towards them. This is a terrific support for the textbook. It will give you additional resources. I may sometimes point you here to complete quizzes or more other objective assessments. There's just a lot of neat stuff in here, and it does not cost that much more than the text without the MyComp Lab. So I think it's really worthwhile our having it. Finally, the first investigation, writing as inquiry or introductions, this is the work you need to complete this week. Okay, I will show you it. You will see here that there is a nice series of links here. You can work through these in order. The first investigation is the checklist. In the beginning of every week's work, you will always see the checklist first. Okay, the checklist has a general overview. Here's what we're doing in this unit, and then beneath that, week by week work. This unit, this quote-unquote unit, is only 1 week long. We'll work on it, look at writing as inquiry this week, reading as inquiry next week. After that, though, we'll get into the units in which you'll be creating essays. So there you will have a unit list that's longer. So you will have a few weeks worth of checks maybe in this unit checklist. Okay, you notice our work is all due on 2 days. Now, typically, your initial due date for the week will be a Thursday. In other words, you'll post an initial post Thursday, and then Sunday will be the day that we do our follow-ups. This week, because we're starting so late, I have pushed that initial due date for the introductions back to Friday. Okay, we do have 2 discussion boards this week. The other one is due Sunday because you don't have to do follow-up posts. For the introductions, you're required, and the rubric will tell you how many, you're required to respond to other student posts. So you'll duck in, introduce yourself, and then say hi to a few other people. Okay, the next link down goes right to the discussion forum for the introductions. The next link down goes right to a discussion forum for scenes of writing. And beneath that are videos which I created for, whoops, that one, slideshare is not working. Okay, videos. These two are videos I created introducing this first chapter. Now these were created initially for a 111, so you may hear a few references to a 111 assignment, but these are they hit the main salient points of that first chapter for you. Okay, if you have any questions, you'll be able to go over to that help forum and ask them. I want you to remember as well that I do have a telephone in my office. I do have office hours. Many of you, or not most of you, are just standard Delta students who are probably coming out here for classes during the day. If you're not, we can set up another time to meet outside of my office hours. All of that stuff is in the syllabus. If you're out here, you can pop into my office. You can give me a call. If you've got questions, just remember I'm here. The number one thing that will help you succeed in an online course is asking questions and getting help when you need it. And I am happy to help. Do not feel shy or hesitant about asking questions. And honestly, even if you express some frustration sometimes, I let that stuff, I water off a duck's back because I know that you want to get a good grade in this class, you want to do well, and I want to help you succeed. Okay, so that's it. Get to work. I'm here if you've got questions.